Apple's preparing a big AI hardware push. Tabletop robot with smarter Siri coming in 2027, a smarter speaker, full screen on your smart speaker. That make it a different kind of device. And a new home security cameras. These devices will run a new operating system, just as they've unified their other operating systems, and tie into Apple's ecosystem. Critics warn that the products are kind of late and may not have any unique features. Might struggle to complete unless Apple can deliver something truly new. And I think, Tom, you'd love to have something truly new in your Apple hardware estate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I say this as I type this on an Apple keyboard connected to a MacBook Pro right next to my iPad, and my iPhone's charging here in the corner. And can't help but think to myself how Apple was late to the phone game, and late to the tablet game. Oh, wait, no, they created that one. Laptop game. They kind of really pioneered that system too. Um, Quick show of hands for everybody out there in the audience. How many of you went out and bought the iPhone 16 because it ran Apple Intelligence? You leave a comment. You just leave your hand raised. Um, Now, quick question for all of you who are leaving the other kind of comment. Before you finish typing, how many of you went and bought the new Galaxy phone because of its AI features? Same number? More? Less? I mean, yes, friend of the show, Stephen Dickens, definitely went out and bought the new Samsung Galaxy phone or the Nexus phone. I forget which one it was, because it had all these enhanced AI features. How about the rest of you? Was that the break point for you? Like the choice between these two new handsets was all of the AI features that one did or didn't have? Or was it that you just wanted to get a new phone and this one had a new button on it and they'll figure out the software in a little bit? Nobody buys these devices for the promise of what they're going to have, right? We know what Apple's ecosystem is going to look like in the fall based on what they announce in June at WWDC. The hardware to support the software that they're developing is what's usually announced. And yeah, we know what we're going to expect: a slightly faster horse that eats a little less hay, or in this case, a slightly faster chip that consumes a little less power, possibly a slightly thinner device. If we get a HomePod that has a screen on it, great. But does it need to run AI? I think that this is where we're starting to get into a little bit of a catch-22. Is they're claiming that the hardware needs to be powerful enough to run all these new AI features, but they can't tell us what AI needs to do. It needs to be different. It needs to be unique. It needs to be transformative. When has that ever happened in Apple's ecosystem? Yeah, it has happened. The iPhone transformed the way that phones work. The iPad transformed the way that people do compute. But they were not revolutionary and groundbreaking when they were released. In fact, I can still specifically remember when the iPad came out and people were like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It doesn't have a keyboard. Well, who would ever use this? Like, there's no reason for me to ever, oh, wait, now I get it. Because it didn't transform the way that people use their laptops. It gave people access to a form factor of a system that was between a phone and a laptop, because we didn't have that at the time. And I can tell you that because I just got done watching the very first Mission Impossible movie, the one from 30 years ago. And it was quaint to see those Mac or the Apple PowerBooks and all of the stuff that was going on. And then go watch the new one. Go watch Final Reckoning. They never take out a laptop. Everything is done on tablets or something else. That future tech that you're so crazy about in these new shows. Everything revolves around these ideas of what these devices are going to be doing, whether or not they're running AI. I promise you something. We are, as we're recording of this, we're a week away from seeing whatever the new iPhone looks like. I don't think Apple Intelligence is going to move the needle on that phone much at all, because the people who bought into the ecosystem for Apple Intelligence last year are still bought into it for whatever Apple Intelligence is going to look like this year. But the people who are just buying a slightly newer phone are not going to care one way or the other. So, to all the critics out there that say that this is Apple's make or break moment, and if they don't have good AI features and do things, then I need you to write down the 5 AI features you need an iPhone to do before you'll switch to one. And I'm sure I'll be waiting next year to get that full list.